Hello, my name's Leon and welcome to St Martin's Tea and Coffee Merchants. One of the most common questions we get asked in here is how do you texture your milk properly and how do you get it to the point where you can do the perfect latte art at home. So first things first, I'm going to run you through some of the equipment that you're going to need. Obviously you're going to need a really nice properly roasted coffee. It's going to need to be ground down to the right consistency, and you need something that's going to make a really nice crema. Next thing you're going to need, this bit's crucial guys, you need yourself a milk frothing thermometer. That's going to make your life a lot easier. Another thing you're going to need is a milk frothing jug. This is a motter pot. If you have something with a nice pronounced spout, that's going to make your life easier also. Next thing you're going to need is something to just extract the coffee into. This is a shot pot. You can use a shot glass or just straight into the cup. That's entirely up to you. Obviously you're also going to need your group head and your tamping arm. Now when you're steaming your milk at home, we're privileged enough to have a commercial grade Spaziale S5. When you're at home, you're going to have probably something more akin to this. Now when you're doing it at home, one of the first things people do wrong is that they blow the milk just from the bottom and leave it there, much like you would on a commercial grade system. Unfortunately, a lot of domestic machines have a hole here and here, and that introduces the air to the milk for you, which is great, but you'll never be able to do your milk to the right consistency to be able to do latte art at home. What you need to do is just simply pull the milk all the way up in the jug so it's just floating around that line there, and then you'll be able to froth your milk properly at home. So when you're frothing your milk, all you need to do, get your milk thermometer, put it in the jug, fill your milk up, and then when we're steaming this, I'll be running it through with you in a second on the machine. You want to steam it, put it all the way to the bottom with the milk frothing arm, and then as you've got it on, pull the steam arm up and then pull it down just until you hear a light scream. You don't want to hear a gargling sound, it just needs to be very soft and smooth. Once you've got that, you keep doing it until you hit 40 degrees. And once you've done that, sink it all the way to the bottom, put it at an angle, and then it's going to introduce all of those large bubbles into the rest of the milk and make a nice smooth consistency. So we can move over to the machine. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Okay guys, this is the part that's going to make or break whether you can actually do the latte art in the end. Right, so first thing, I was talking to you about the domestic machines and how they have a hole at the top. On a commercial machine, the hole's at the bottom, and that's where the steam is introduced into the milk. So when you're using it, whether you've got a hole at the side or hole at the bottom, you want the milk to be over the top of it, submerge it completely, and then turn the tap on. And you're going to be pulling it down until you hear a sound like a shallow kind of screaming sound. If it doesn't make that sound, it starts gargling, you've gone too far. So you want it to sound like this. And you don't want to sound like this. If you pull it down to that point, you've gone too far. So we're just going to start again with some fresh milk. Rule number one when you're making coffee and steaming, always wipe off your steam on, purge any steam and milk that might be in there. So we're just going to get the coffee ready. We've got a Malkonig here, it's an on-demand grinder, and what that does, we calibrate it and it measures out exactly the right amount. This is something that we're going to touch on other videos, but for now, just remember you need the right amount of coffee, it needs to be the right grind. Now tamping, again, a really important thing to do correctly. We've got a ratchet tamper, which means that whoever uses this in the world, they're going to apply the right amount of pressure. So that takes, a lot of the work out of it for us, make sure that everyone's doing it the right way. You probably don't have one of these at home, but again, in later videos we'll be talking through how to do this properly. So just push it down, turn it just to polish all the grinds off a little bit. Anything left on the top, just brush away. You don't want to be getting that stuck up all in the group there. So, just fit that in there. Get your shot pot or your cup or your espresso glass or whatever, put it under there. Make sure you've got the right amount of milk. And then, like I said, you're looking for a shallow scream, and you want the milk to be, the top of the milk just to be at that hole on your domestic machine. So I'm going to start there. So I'm going to stop there and show you. It's at 40 degrees. Once you get to 40 degrees, you don't want it to be making that screaming sound anymore. You want to submerge the spout completely into the milk, and then just push it at a slight angle so that it just introduces all those large bubbles and just breaks them down and moves into the milk. It will give you a nice velvety texture. Now, the benefit of a milk frothing wand is that you're going to have nice little reading there. You don't want to go past that red level. The milk will burn at 80 degrees, so you don't want to go past that. So, we'll get that ready, and now it's just for the espresso. You can see there, got a lovely golden crema, and that's exactly what you want. You're going to need your perfectly textured milk, lovely golden crema. Now we're going to move on to the important bit, actually how you make the latte art. Okay guys, so now with the portion of the video we're going to actually show you how to do the latte art. So, got our golden crema on top of our espresso, we've got a lovely velvety smooth milk in the jug. So, just decant your espresso. Now it's important, if you can, keep the milk moving at all times, purely because if you don't, the froth starts to separate from the milk and then you're going to be able to do nothing with it. So also, if you've got any larger bubbles or even small ones just in there, just give it a nice firm bash against the bottom. You don't need to try and go through the worktop, and you're going to get rid of those bubbles. Also, if the texture's not quite right, you can always use a slopping jug just to get rid of it, and just keep doing it until you get a really nice texture going. Here we go. So just do this nice and slow. It's going to take you a few times. It's unlikely you'll get it the first time, but just steady, and then keep on trying, and then you will get there. So and there we go, guys.